Vanakkam, I'm Jaycee Satyamaheshni from Hosur Lake City. I'm going to presenting Jaycee Senthil Chidambaranathan, and he is the founder president of Indian Professionals in Australia, and he is the past treasurer of Adelaide Tamil Association. Cheltenham sub-branch president of Australian Labour Party also. திரைக்கடல் ஓடியும் திறமையை காட்டும் நமது ஜேசி நண்பர் செந்தில் charter member of Ranipet Powercity Junior Chapel, and he is attended NALANDA in the year 1996. And in the year 1997, he has become a president of Ranipet Powercity Junior Chapel, and he is a zone trainer of Zone 16. Tadaram Jaycee channel is proud to introduce Jaycee Senthil Chidambaranathan, the first person to talk from a different country, Adelaide in Australia. Let us hear him now. Thank you.
Hi everyone. This is Senthil Chidambaranathan. I'm a past Jaycee. I was a member between 1996 and 1998, and I was the founder member of Ranipet Powercity Junior Chamber. And currently, I live in Adelaide in Australia, and I'm married. I've got two boys, and Akshat and Agne, and my wife is Anu. Uh, I would like to thank Shankaranarayanan for taking this wonderful initiative of capturing those wonderful moments of Jaycees and what they benefited or what did they learn from being a member of Junior Chamber, and the commitment that Shankaranarayanan had shown in creating this wonderful initiative is fabulous. So thanks to you, Shankaranarayanan. In the next couple of minutes, I would like to share about my journey through Junior Chamber and how I was benefited by being a member of the Jaycees. So it was in 1996 I was given the opportunity to know about Jaycees, and my brother Renga, who lives in Sydney, uh, was the charter president of Ranipet Sipcot Junior Chamber. So he invited me to his installation program, and I was a bit excited to know what these guys are doing, and let me go and attend that program. So I went there. I could see a lot of youngsters who had that zeal and aspirations to do well in their life, and they were looking for direction. And I was able to quickly associate myself with that bunch of youngsters because I was 23 at that point of time, and I was working as a medical representative at that time. I had that appetite to learn things and to grow up in my life. And then Renga said that this is an organization where they teach you, mentor you, train you, coach you to be better individuals and also to realize your potential. And that sounded very good and very attractive for me. And then along with Ranga, I started attending a couple of personality development programs which was offered by different chapters around Ranipet and Vellore. And I found value in each of those programs. And then when we were talking about how can I become a member, and then there was a thought that was going through that a new chapter is being created called Ranipet Power City Junior Chamber, which was sponsored by Renga's Lawn. So we thought that it might be a good idea to be in two different chapters so that there are no conflicts of interest between myself and my brother. So I became the charter member of Ranipet Power City, The founder president was JCI Senator P. Mohan Kumar. And after becoming a member, we started attending more training programs, and particularly around communication and around public speaking. And that clicked, it created a lot of resonance for me, saying that, okay, this is definitely helpful to me. Because as a medical rep, communication was very important for me, and Jaycees was offering that to me. And then a couple of the senior Jaycees, they told me about NALANDA, which was the National Academy for Leadership. And we all know that Nalanda University is famous because it was a citadel of learning in the olden years of the Indian history. So I was keen to be a participant in Nalanda. So then we approached our zone president, who was kind enough to recommend me to be part of that program. And with that excitement, I went to Nalanda into 1996 at Jodhpur. And I should say that Nalanda was a turning point in my life. And it was a fun-filled program for 5 days with a lot of things to learn and a lot of insights about leadership and how you can shape up your personality to be a very assertive and also a leader who has got a lot of foresight. Apart from leadership skills that I learned from Nalanda, there are two important learnings that I had. The first one was being humble. The program was hosted by the Jodhpur Junior Chamber, and the president at that time was one of the brothers who owned Kanzara Bearings. Kanzara Bearings at that point of time was one of the top 3 or 4 leading ball bearing manufacturers in the country. And the way they conducted themselves in that 5 days, uh, I was really surprised. Both the brothers, with such a huge amount of wealth behind them, a reputation, and a big company behind them, they were so humble. Their only focus was to give the best experience to the participant. I learned from them how one should be humble and also to be aligned to the purpose. For them, the purpose was to give the best experience to the participant. And the second learning was after the program was finished and we were all rushing back to the railway station to board the train back to our place. Uh, they were standing in front of the exit in the hotel and they were giving away a box. And since I was rushing to the station, I couldn't see what was there in the box. I just grabbed one, went to the railway station, and I was curious once I boarded the train to see what is there. And I was really surprised that it had the dinner neatly packed for our journey. And that was my second learning. They could have just stopped by delivering a wonderful program in the hotel and just kept quiet. But then they thought what else these guys need, and they were able to make those arrangements. For some, it might seem very simple, but for me, it was very, very emotional. The learning that I had is that effort to make someone happy goes many miles. So these two learnings I've been trying to practice throughout my life, and now it's 26 years since I attended Nalanda, and that has been one of my important things in my life, and probably it is part of my fabric at this point of time. Is how do I try to conduct myself in a humble way, and also how do I take initiatives to make others happy. There would have been times where I would have dropped the ball, but I'm trying to make things better for me so that we live in a better society. And then from there, we moved on after graduating from Nalanda. Now I want to put those learnings into practice. So I put my hand up to be the next president. So 1997, I became the LOM president for Ranipet Powercity Junior Chamber. And we had some of the interesting programs during that year. We had one which was harmony run, which was having students from different schools participate in a run to propagate the common cause of communal harmony. And then we all know in 1997 there was a kidnapping of the Kannada actor Rajkumar, and he was rescued from the forest by the editor of Nakiran, Gopal. And we were the first chapter in the entire country, or we were the first organization in the entire country to recognize Nakiran Gopal for his contribution in the safe release of Rajkumar. And we organized such a very big event in Ranipet to honor him and also to showcase what an individual can do to the community by being courageous. And after that, we also worked very closely with other chapters of Ranipet Sipcot, and Ranipet Tan India. So that helped me to understand what it takes to collaborate with others, and that skills around collaboration that I got from working together with the other chapters, it has been very, very helpful in my professional life. So that year, Ranipet Sipcot hosted the regional conference, and Powercity and Tan India worked closely with Sipcot to ensure that it was a very, very memorable conference. And that is another great learning for me. And then later in that year, we had the zone elections. The zone elections is another area where you could pick up a lot of leadership skills, being creative, being innovative, and also being collaborative. Uh, when an election comes when there are differences. Differences can come in the way of policy, it could come in the way of your beliefs. Uh, Elections are there when there is democracy. So we need to ensure that the differences are we need to accept that there are differences, but at the same time, we also need to respect the other people, because just because they are different from you, you can't disrespect them. So that election gave a lot of learnings for me in terms of creating promotional materials, being assertive, not being aggressive, and also collaborating with different stakeholders to ensure that what is good for the organization is being achieved. In the process, we also learned how we need to be patient and how we need to respect others. So that learning we had from that election has been very, very critical for our professional life, because we all know that politics exists not only in the real politics, but politics exists in professional life, in personal life. It all depends on how you navigate those political storms that exist, makes you a better human being. And another great learning from that particular election is people tend to work in an election for personal gains. And what we learned from that election is we could still contribute to the success of a candidate without expecting anything in return. And so that had built a good quality in myself and my brother since then, uh, which we are very proud of, contributing to the community or to the organization without expecting much in return. And then from there, we couldn't spend much time in the organization because of our work commitment, and our lives became very busy because we joined different companies, and there were a lot of transfers that was happening, so we were not put in one place for a longer time. The other thing that I would also like to share with you guys about Jaycees is the wonderful opportunity to be a trainer. So I graduated myself as a zone trainer, and I was able to do about 86 programs benefiting about 3,000 people. And here I would like to capture one important session that I did for probably it was a primary school, and the participants were in the age group of 6 years to 12 years, and we were talking about how to build their personality. After the program, I was asking for feedback from those kids. How did they like the program? And one of the girls said, I want to talk. And she said, so far I've had the habit of sucking my thumb. And whenever I wanted to do it, I used to keep myself away from the group. That was creating a lot of discomfort for myself, and it was also pulling down my confidence. But now, after being part of this program, I understand that it is me who has to make a decision to give up this habit. And she said, I would like to promise you today that I will give up sucking my thumb, because it's going to be very helpful to my future. So I felt that if I could influence someone as young as 12 and create a life-changing experience for them, why shouldn't I do it for others? So from that day, this is probably dates back to 97, so now it's about 25 years. Wherever there is a possibility and wherever I get an opportunity, I tend to share the knowledge and skill that I've got with others. Uh, if there is an appetite for someone to learn, I've always invested my time to help that person learn so that both of us could be benefited. And if I were to summarize what I've learned in Jaycees in that 24 months that we were there in the organization, we learned how to be humble. We learned how to be collaborative. We learned how to make the best use of resources that we've got, and also how to communicate with others. And I would encourage the youngsters to be part of junior chamber because it has got a lot of things to offer for you. And when you're doing that, I would also encourage you to be a bit selfish in terms of trying to acquire as much as possible from junior chamber, because it is an ocean. You can get a lot of things from junior chamber, and it should be self-driven. You should have that hunger and appetite to learn more things. And if I could learn so many things in 2 years, if somebody is there for say 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years, then imagine how much you will learn from the organization. And we came across wonderful people in Jaycees. Some of them are friends for our life, like Jaycee Suresh Babu, who was a president during my term, and we are friends for life. And I can keep going on naming people, but I'm a bit afraid that I might miss out some, and I don't want to create a clutter by not naming some of them. But there have been huge number of people who are very close to our heart, who have done phenomenal support for me and my brother during our journey in Jaycees, and many of them continue to support us. Uh, Even now, and we are in touch with many of them in the last 25 years. And we have got a big set of friends through Jaycees. So it was nice interacting with all of you through this program. I'm sure you would have enjoyed listening to this. And if you got any questions for me, feel free to reach out to me through Shankaranarayanan. Shankaranarayanan has got my contact details. I'll be more than happy to share more experience, or if there is anything else that I could be of help to you, I'll be more than happy to do that. So thank you so much. Bye bye.